Cordelius is the newest chromatic brawler inside of Brawl Stars, and let me tell you guys right now, he is insanely strong. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a full rundown on how to play Cordelius, so without further ado, let's go ahead and hop straight into the video. Alright, so first off, let's go ahead and talk about Cordelius' build. Alright, so for his gadget, you guys want to be using Poison Mushroom. In case you guys don't know what Poison Mushroom does, Cordelius' next main attack shoots a Poison Mushroom that prevents the enemy from attacking for 1.5 seconds. Now, let me just tell you guys right now, this gadget doesn't affect any passive abilities such as the speed gear or like the bow totem, for example. However, this does work on some spawnables, for example, like Nita's bear or Penny's mortar or Jesse's turret. But also keep in mind, it actually doesn't affect any of the passive turrets, for example, like Pam's healing station or 8-bit's damage booster. But the reason that this gadget is so good is because it just helps you and your teammates just be more aggressive. Obviously, when people are muted, you can kind of think of it like Otis's super. They're not going to be able to attack or do anything. So a good prime example of using this in a good situation is like in Brawl Ball. You can go and mute them, they won't be able to kick the ball, and you can go and get them down. So all you guys got to remember is that this gadget is equal to like Otis's super, but it only lasts for 1.5 seconds. Alright, so now for Cordelius' star power, you guys want to be using combo shrooms. In case you guys don't know what combo shrooms is, hitting the second mushrooms to the same target as the first deals 30% extra damage. So in case you guys are a little bit confused, all you guys got to know is that as long as both attacks are hitting the same target, that second mushroom that hits the same target is going to deal 30% more damage. But for some reason, say like the first mushroom hits somebody and then the second mushroom hits somebody else, is going to deal the same amount of damage. You're not going to get that extra 30% boost. Now, the reason I say that this is the better star power is that this just helps you deal more damage, and it's also a very good combination with his Poison Mushroom gadget. You can go ahead and mute people with the gadget, and you can go ahead and spam all of your attacks to go ahead and get them down and deal as much damage as possible. Now for the gears, you guys want to be using the damage and speed gears. Cordelius already moves super quickly, so if you guys don't want to be using the speed gear, you guys can go shield as well. The reason that I would recommend shield over speed is that he doesn't really have a ton of HP, so if you guys do want to run the shield gear, it should help him stay alive at least a little bit longer. But 100%, I think you guys gotta run the damage gear here. Of course, I always say you can't go wrong with dealing more damage inside of Brawl Stars. It's gonna make it easy for you to take people down and chain more supers. And of course, if you guys are running the combo shroom star power, it's just gonna be a deadly combination to run the damage gear as well. I feel like this is overall the best build for Cordelius, and I highly recommend you guys run this build. If you guys are enjoying the video so far, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. Alright, so now let's go and talk about Cordelius' best game modes. So the two game modes I'm specifically going to be talking about is Bounty and Knockout. The reason that I say Bounty and Knockout are going to be probably his best game modes is because of his 1v1 capabilities. Once you use your super onto people, you can basically get in that 1v1 situation. You can isolate one person and try to take them down, and you can also use this to relieve the pressure off your teammates. But also, say for example, you're in Knockout and you're in a 1v3 situation, you can go ahead and use your super to try and heal up or run away and just try to be sneaky with it. You going into that Shadow Realm is kind of like using a Leon invisibility super. You can use it to change your positioning, run away and heal up, or just try to have that element of surprise against the enemies. Now, it kind of works the same way with Bounty or Wipeout, whatever you guys want to play. As long as you guys are having that element of surprise, getting those stars or getting those kills is just going to make it a lot easier for you guys. Now, obviously, you can play Cordelius in other game modes, but I feel like that Bounty and Knockout are going to be the two strongest for him. But okay, now let's go and talk about Cordelius' best tips and tricks. So something you guys do need to keep in mind about Cordelius is that his attack range is kind of short. It's obviously not as long of an attack range like Piper, for example. So you guys are going to want to try and pick your lanes in situations where you are trying to battle out against another mid-range brawler. You don't want to be playing Cordelius on a map where it's super wide open and you're going to be playing against brawlers like Piper or Brock. You're going to get outranged. So what I would highly recommend is you guys play Cordelius on maps that have a lot of walls and bushes. This way, it'll make it a lot easier for you to get within proximity of the enemies so you can actually hit them. Now, I know I was just talking about a little bit of a downside of Cordelius is his attack range, but a huge plus side to playing Cordelius is his fast movement speed. Also, what I talked about in the build is using the speed gear. This will just make him even faster. He's already a pretty fast brawler when you guys are using him just around the map, but when you guys use his super, I mean, he just moves like an absolute demon. So when you guys are playing Cordelius, make sure you guys are taking advantage of that fast movement speed, trying to cause pressure and gain control of the map. This is a great brawler for you guys to work on dodging dodging shots and just winning lanes as much as possible. If you guys are finding the video helpful so far, it would really mean a lot if you guys could show some engagement, leave a like and a comment. Now earlier on in the video, I did elaborate a little bit, and when you're in a tough situation, you can go ahead and use Cordelius' super to escape and heal up, right? But you also need to be aware that when you're exiting Cordelius' super, that there might be an enemy waiting for you right as you exit the Shadow Realm. So that's probably one downside, is that you can't see anybody else, obviously, when you're in the Shadow Realm, just that person that you hit. So before you guys exit the Shadow Realm, I would recommend you guys go ahead and hide in a bush or hide behind cover, because it'll decrease the chances of you having to face an enemy that might be right there. Now I know that this is kind of a very junk mechanic about Cordelius, but this also just helps to balance him out. If you're able to see where everybody is when you're in the Shadow Realm, then it's gonna make it so much easier for you to just go ahead and go right next to them, and then you're gonna pop out of the Shadow Realm and they're gonna be the ones that surprised. But at least with Cordelius' super being balanced out a little bit, now you and the enemy are both gonna be surprised when you exit the Shadow Realm. Now another thing I'm just gonna talk about, a general mechanic with Cordelius, is that you guys don't want to really be auto-aiming his attacks. Obviously, yes, if they're within a few tiles, go ahead and auto-aim, but if the enemies are at the peak of his attack range, I would highly recommend you just manually aim it. So you guys are just gonna better your odds by just manually auto-aiming, and for any brawler in general, you guys should be aiming. Overall, I feel like Cordelius is gonna be a very strong brawler, and I can't wait for all of you guys to unlock and start pushing him. Well, anyway guys, I think that's gonna go to conclude today's video. Mahalo nui loa, ahui ho kako. See you guys in the next one.